Welcome to Stupid For Dexter! Woo! Welcome to our kill room. I am Kat Steele, and this is the fabulous Miss Dana Block sitting in for Mandy today.
Hi, everyone.
And welcome. So we saw episode number 6. It was called Just Let Go. And there was a lot that happened in this episode.
I think a lot of people let themselves go this episode.
Absolutely.
It was very appropriate.
And at the end of the episode, somebody did let go, and we have a very special guest who played an important part of that, but we'll get to that in a second. So, let's talk about some killer moments. Killer moments.
Well, you can say who the special guest is.
Oh! Well,
they might not stick around. It's a big get.
We have Germaine De Leon on. He played Nick, and we are so excited to have him on. Woo!
It's kind of important. You might want to mention it top of show,
I was
people.
trying to be
Top of show.
surprised, but no, I get to talk about it.
It's all about teasing. It's all about marketing.
Yeah. Ooh, well, yes, we do.
The YouTube will even say.
We pulled him right out of the ocean.
Yes, we did.
Brought him back. Dried him off.
And he's fine. He's fine.
He's totally fine.
He got better. So, yes, we have Germaine on, who we're going to interview later today. And let's talk a little bit about the theme of the episode. Just Let Go. What did you think?
I mean, I really want to talk about the last killer moment. So I'm gonna hold myself in and talk about one of the first people that totally let go is off his rocker is Quinn.
Absolutely. In fact, since Just Let Go is a main theme, maybe we should just go to killer moments to discuss them in more detail. Killer moments are when we discuss highlights or favorite parts of Dexter, things that make us laugh or think or stuff that's important to the plot. So let's go on to killer moments.
Ooh. I always have to do that.
Ooh, beautiful. All right, Miss Dana. So yes.
So Quinn,
tell me all about it.
Well, first of all, we know that he was sleeping with, Geller's TA or something. That's what we found out last week, right? I'm sure you and Mandy talked about it last week.
Oh, yes.
But now we find out that she is the key witness. And so right before, we have to hide from Deborah that Quinn slept with her. He's kind of behind Deborah with Batista going get me out of here.
Help, awkward.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I was Deborah that Quinn was sleeping with her because he's sleeping with everybody and their mother this season because of his broken heart,
There you
of course.
go. He's brokenhearted. He's falling apart. And I enjoyed that moment in the interview room. Like you said, it was just awkward. There was a little bit of Scooby-Doo where he was trying really hard to avoid the situation.
Yeah, behind Batista hiding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was it's just leading up to a really awkward work environment. If it's not bad enough already.
Well, and I think that Deborah wins the award for dropping the most F-bombs in a sentence, period. Because I was trying to count how many times.
I don't think you can.
She said, yeah. I love it. I love it, though, because before, in the start of the season, she wasn't swearing at all, and I really miss that.
She's catching up.
Yeah, definitely. She's making up for lost times.
Quinn and Deborah, that's going to be really interesting to see where that goes. Another killer moment I thought was Travis has the whore of Babylon, a.k.a. Slave Leia in the bikini, ready to brand her, and he lets her go. I mean, that has huge repercussions. I mean, Geller's not going to be too happy about that one.
I know. And also, too, that was right after, last week's episode when Dexter follows him. He's in the car. And Dexter lets him go, too.
Right.
So is it something where he has now Dexter in his head rather than Professor Geller?
You're right. Is it an external thing that's driving him? I really don't want to be murdered by that dude who was in my car. Or is it internal where it's I actually can't murder somebody.
Right.
But you know what? He already did murder somebody. He murdered the fruit vendor, and he has participated in other murders leading up. So it's change of heart now, or is it violence towards women that he can't abide by? it's
Yeah, it's a
interesting.
little-
Well, but he killed the angel girl, so it's not a violence towards women.
True, but alone, like in a solo act, because when he killed the fruit vendor, he was alone doing that.
Well, is he always alone?
Perhaps he is always alone. There was kind
Dark
of...
Passenger 1979, I believe, was one who still thinks Geller is a ghost.
You know
or
what?
whatever you want to call him.
Ghost Dad Geller?
Ghost Dad
We're going to call him Ghost Dad Geller because there was evidence, again. Remember in the beginning of the episode when Dex is on the hunt and they're going through like the what is it, the farmer's market?
Mm-hmm. This is right before he gets the phone call from Deborah.
Exactly. And he's just hunting Travis, gets a phone call, has
Right.
to go. All of a sudden, Travis is hanging out with Geller.
I know.
What's that about?
And you know what? I actually, because I know you guys have been talking about this and
Oh,
thinking
I'm
that
obsessed
it's
with it.
subconscious, but I didn't even like think that at all until this episode.
Really?
Because until that part.
Is that what...
Yeah, that's what kind of, and then also too after Dexter, and then when he lets her go, I was thinking that maybe he's letting Geller go, and then it's going to be this like internal fight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I didn't even think. I mean, I was totally not.
Don't
on that
forget
page.
the biggest clue that everybody still goes back to, and Dexter Corner Michael, who's joining us this week, also said the same thing. Don't forget he didn't have the place setting right at the restaurant.
That's right.
Which we had Jamie on, who was the waitress
She
at the restaurant,
and
she said she was not directed to ignore him.
That's right. But the only evidence we do have that is anti-Ghost Dad Geller is that when they were hanging out, I think it was one episode ago, at the nightclub, they both had cups of coffee that were being raised, and no other patrons batted an eyelash.
But that could be just him seeing, that could still be a figment where he's
You're
seeing
right.
him raise it. I mean,
You're right. No, fair.
Because wasn't that like Fight Club? Brad Pitt did everything, right?
But he's also talking
let's see,
to himself in
does
public,
Dexter's
though.
dad do things and move things? In the
I've never
Dexter
thought about
world,
that.
which they're building,
Right.
so let's say it's
The
all the same
Dexterverse.
rules apply to apparitions or
Right.
whatever you want to call them, figments, or really just your subconscious. Interesting question. Does anybody know that in the chat room? Has Dexter's dad moved things around ever?
It doesn't matter.
You know, but the thing is, like, and also if Travis was talking to himself, hypothetically, is he pulling a Dexter where it's kind of like you just assume that nobody else is listening or catching on that it's odd? Or he was in the nightclub talking to Geller and nobody's looking at him like, oh, look at the crazy dude talking to himself. I don't know. But there is a lot of evidence, though, that Geller is indeed not real and,
Right.
in fact, in Travis's mind. So it's a lot of fun to look for those clues each time. But I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, do you have another killer moment?
Yes, I do.
Ooh.
And it's Brother Sam.
Oh,
I was really, really upset.
I know. It was very sad.
Gabriel. So,
Our guest later.
That's right. That's, well,
will come
Mr. Nick, who...
right.
And we'll talk about it later. I can't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brother Sam, so, I mean, I know we're going to talk about this too later when we get Sunday schooled. But also,
Indeed.
this is when he talks to Dexter about, forgiveness and,
Right.
Dexter has to let go of his dark passenger and everything like that.
And he has a light inside of him.
Right. Exactly. And it's one of the first times you see Dexter, because, I mean, even with his wife, he wasn't emotionally connected to her. But there's
Right.
something about his bond with Brother Sam that's completely different. It's also very inquisitive. Dexter was very interested in what Brother Sam had to say. And it was
Absolutely.
almost kind of like he was trying to find faith through this relationship.
Right.
So, when Brother Sam died, I feel like Dexter's faith completely died too.
I agree with that. I mean, because they did have that bond, and I think it was because they had that kindred spirit where they'd been through or in the darkness, and Brother Sam was like the one who'd found the light and seemed at the end of the day and at the end of his life, he was a legitimately restored person full of light, and Dexter was so conflicted. Like, how did you go from being a murderer to, this honorable person, this whole
Right.
person? So it'll be interesting to see if Dexter's ever able to really build up
Yeah.
some semblance like that, or if, like you said, the faith is gone.
Yeah.
Just crumbled and shattered. which leads us up to our next killer moment.
What were the killer moments so far? Let's backtrack.
So far, we've had Quinn's meltdown.
Yeah.
The whole interview that went on with TA Carissa Porter. The next moment we had was Travis lets the Whore of Babylon go and the ramifications that would happen from that. Number 3, we had Brother Sam passes away from the gunshot that he...
Gunshots.
The gunshots that he...
And
Right,
no
3.
exit wounds.
Yeah.
Tore him up inside, I believe was the quote.
Ugh,
Exactly.
that's right.
And that's how Dexter impressed everyone, right? Because he knew exactly how the gun, like when the gunshots hit, where they were fired from.
Yeah, Chicago Mike was very
There's a whole
very
weird
impressed.
build up to that. He keeps being impressed by him every week.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm
So
concerned
something's
that...
happening.
I'm concerned that it will go from admiration to suspicion very quickly.
And he's going to open up the Dokes case again.
Dokes 2.0.
I was just...
All right, and then the final big moment, is it the final one? I think was the biggest.
Yes!
Well, actually, there's... All right,
It leads up. It goes...
I'm going to say
it's a
there's 2
two-part.
big moments.
It's a two-parter.
One of them wasn't in the show. So go ahead.
No, it was in the show. They showed a glimpse of it at the very end. It counts.
Right.
It's not a spoiler.
All right, go ahead. No, but I think there's one other
Part
one.
1 of the killer moment was we find out that Nick, who was one of the reformed employees of Brother Sam,
Totally baptized everything.
Baptized, took him under his wing, tried to get him out of the gang.
Right.
Shot him. And his reason was that Sam was just full of shit.
Right. Exactly.
And starts laughing like a maniac. Snickering. Yes, was the key word. And Dex has to choose at that point to take the fork in the road, the light or the darkness.
Right.
And we all know which one Dexter took.
Right, because Brother Sam, he told Dexter to forgive him, because the only people that knew that Nick shot Brother Sam was Brother Sam and Dexter.
Yep, and that's it. So no other witnesses.
Right.
And
Except for the dog.
Except for the dog, but, well,
I mean,
dog can't really go on trial, I suppose.
Okay, so that's your big killer moment?
No.
Oh.
Hold on. So
this is when I gasped.
Yes. So Nick has
surprise and then joy.
Right. So Nick chooses, instead of being repentant and saying, I made a horrible mistake. I really feel that Dexter may have let him go and gone with the forgiveness.
Until he snickered.
Nick starts giggling like a schoolgirl, like an evil schoolgirl. And Dexter just snaps and tackles him. He's like...
He's giggling like that right now. It's creepy.
He's
freaking me out.
like that right... Oh, no! And he tackles him and just chokes the shit out of him.
Can I tell you, when he started snickering... And you could see in his eyes, and it was very good. It was very good.
So good.
And I was just going, "Get him, Dexter! Get him!" And then Dexter went for him, and I was so happy. And then he and I felt so terrible, because I was like in my apartment, like standing up, like screaming.
No, yeah. Well, it's tough because we have Germaine right over here.
I know.
And Germaine has been absolutely lovely. And it's like,
and he seems like such a nice guy. And I just want to tell him how terrible he is.
Well, wait, he'll be on. About,
he will.
15 more minutes. So let's
Okay,
move on.
but I feel like
those are your killer moments?
No.
We have a part 2 of that.
Okay.
And this
That was
in the
4A.
show. Yes, that was 4A, and now it's time for 4B.
Let's move on.
Do you want to say 4B?
Yeah, can I?
I'll go for it, Dana.
Because this is like my favorite characters coming back. So Dexter starts walking out. He's like, already, Nick's dead. He starts walking out, and then he looks up. And you think that it might be, you don't know who he's looking at. Like, I was totally shocked. Because it's Brian. A.K.A. his brother, A.K.A. the ice truck killer. Who was my favorite. I mean, I loved,
amazing.
I loved John Lithgow, but I loved the ice truck killer is what got me into Dexter.
Yes!
Like that whole storyline. And so to see him standing there, I didn't know what to do. I was like by myself watching it, and I literally went like this, like just in my apartment. I'm such a dork. No wonder I'm a guest on this show. Because I'm just so cute. No, because I'm so into it. It made me so happy. And then my second thought was, thank God that wasn't Lumen, or else I would have stopped watching it. Because that's what I thought. I was like, I'm so glad they brought Brian back and not Lumen.
And that's why we love you, Dana.
Those are your killer moments?
Yeah, those are all of our killer moments. I would say that...
No, I have another killer moment.
Oh, please share, Producer Mike.
Hello, in the coming next week?
Are we allowed to do killer moments with...
All right, here's a spoiler. If you don't watch, for
earmuffs.
some reason you don't watch the what's going to happen next week, the coming next week moments, you fast scrub right now, 2 minutes, unless you're watching live, then shut your computer down. I don't know. So go ahead. That's the biggest moment I think of.
We have killer moment number 5.
A long time.
This is a bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, killer preview moment says Dexter Corner Michael.
They showed us in the preview for next week's episode. Not only is a return to Brian the Ice Truck Killer, now there's a return to the Trinity storyline. And I know. And they show Dexter coming up and seeing the son of Trinity. I think he's working in like Kmart or something.
Right.
And
in the little like local store where Quinn spotted him the last time.
That's right. And he comes up and the son says, "Hello, Dexter Morgan." And they show that yet again the Trinity murders are occurring again. And they made it look like Trinity's son is doing it. But
and Trinity's son, his mom and his sister are missing. Right?
Yes.
Did they say that? Mm-hmm. So it is the Trinity killing.
It's so exciting.
And we can only hope. So here's what I hope relating. What I'm thinking now. Let's go back to 4A, which is Brian. Wait, Elaine's trying to tell you something. Elaine's trying to tell you to bobble the head. Oh my God!
We have Trinity right here. Just for
this is the difference between me as producer and Elaine as producer. I'm like something extremely wrong, and Elaine's like, hit the bobblehead.
No, it's bobblehead. It's very important.
Well, I mean, Jesus is right here too.
That's right. Let's have Jesus and John.
All right. Let's quickly talk about some killer moment things here. Then let's get into this way. So Brian is back.
Yes.
Right.
Huge.
Now, I view it as this. I view it as evil angel over his shoulder, dad good angel over his shoulder. That's what I'm hoping happens.
I'm wondering if we're going to see Harry again, though.
You're
I wonder if
thinking
he's a
replacing Harry?
replacement.
Well,
what do you in the chat room think? Do you think he's replacing Harry? Do you think you're going to see both Harry and the brother fight it out?
Well, I actually am hoping that Harry and the brother fight it out. But I mean, I feel like the next couple episodes, I feel like Harry's going to come back at the end because he has to, right?
Yeah, I would hope.
But I feel like the next couple episodes, Dexter's going to just like be off his rocker and be with Brian the whole time, and they're going to be in the car killing people and having a good time.
I really want to see Dexter having, talking with both of them at the same time, and see Brian and Harry rap battle to the death and see which angel wins, and he'll just go that path.
Thinking.
Because Harry was talking about the light right before Brian.
Dark Passenger 1979, he's not replacing Harry. Combat 30, no, he's a Brother Sam replacement, which obviously he's the opposite of Brother Sam.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he didn't take in the light, he let in the massive darkness, which obviously
rap battle to the death.
Dark Passenger 1979 also does not think it was Nick who shot him. What?
What?
That was pretty much proven.
Wait.
Hold on. What? But that was from wait. Dark Passenger 1979, I believe he wants to Skype in. So see if he wants to Skype in now, or.
I have David in now.
Okay. Well, he'll Skype after we do Sunday school.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk to him. I mean, that's we want to hear your reason for that.
Dexter Corner Michael brings up a good point. Travis gets calls from Geller. Geller doesn't appear like Dexter's dad. He kind of gets calls.
Right.
Maybe he's just making it up, and there's nobody there, and it's like a play school
you know why?
phone.
Because Travis is younger than Dexter, and that's how he gets it through the cell phone, and Dexter just appears.
He's getting texts from his
He's getting texts from his.
Text from Harry,
my
text from Brian.
subconscious tweets me all the time.
And then, so there was that, and then there was something else I wanted to say about the other Dexter moment. Now I can't remember what it was.
Oh.
Well, I love that they're bringing back my two favorite characters because, like, for me, the first season and the fourth season were the best seasons of Dexter, and the fact that they're like now combining is totally rocking my world.
Oh, here's what I want to say. Here's the ultimate show where it jumps the shark, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Dexter has his brother on his shoulder, right?
Okay.
And then Trinity's son has Trinity on his shoulder.
Oh, God!
So Trinity comes back,
And Travis has.
and everybody's happy.
It's amazing.
It seems like one of these things. It literally seems like, and I don't think Showtime does this, but if it was a network show, it'd be like, we're just not getting ratings again. We got to bring Lithgow back or something. So let's just have, like, literally midstream, the show has suddenly changed. And it sort of built up, so I think they arced it correctly. I think this was already the arc, it seemed like. Because of Brother Sam and the light to the dark, and it was mentioned before. But if it was a network show, I'd be like, they just came up with this like two weeks ago in the writers' room.
But it's just
No,
sorry,
go right ahead.
I was just thinking though, it's very hard for me because the whole Brian storyline, like even though I totally love him, it's he tried to kill Dexter's sister, and Dexter had to choose between his sister and Brian, and he chose Deb. And so it's really interesting to me, kind of the whole experience that he's going to have with Brian, like a second chance with Brian.
Yeah.
But yet, how can he forgive him for trying to
That is so interesting that you bring that up, because I had a little thought that at the end of Deb's party in this episode, she had been talking to the therapist beforehand saying Dexter was the closest person in her life. They were just like this, and Dexter was the only person Deb could rely on. And then after the party, she tries to call him, and he doesn't pick up, and she's kind of alone in the world. And then she looks at the therapist's number, and you can see her contemplating needing to talk to somebody. So maybe she can feel the distance, and that'll be interesting. What if this imaginary Brian comes back and nourishes that relationship?
Right.
I like that point.
Okay, well, here's a question I asked in the chat room.
Yeah.
Who in the Dexter universe would you like to see come back from the dead? Prince Marth 23 says Dokes.
Obviously.
I kind of want Lila. She was kind of hot.
Oh, Lila was fun. She burned everything down and was crazy. I love
Lila.
her.
That was a hot season.
She was Foxy Mama, was she not?
She was definitely Foxy.
She was. She was very
Somebody wants to see Rita. Really, A4 Monkey? Rita?
Really?
Rita?
No, nobody wants. That's like saying you want the kids back. Come on, please.
Dark Pastor 79 thought Lila was annoying.
What?
Somebody doesn't like dating the psycho ladies.
That's fine. I like Brian. I'm really glad they brought him back.
I love him.
Okay.
Charming.
Do we have questions for our Sunday school? Do you want to get to him, or what do you got next?
We should. I just had a couple. Well, maybe I can bring those up with David. I had a couple more thoughts.
Okay.
Just share.
Okay.
Travis collecting the blood jars.
Oh yes, blood jars.
WTF? What? That's creepy. It looks like he's doing his own blood drive.
Yeah.
No.
It's his own blood, right?
Yeah, it's his own blood.
We don't know.
We don't. I just wanted to bring that up.
David might have an answer to that.
I thought it was weird.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
Well,
Yeah, is that a thing in the Bible? Did they?
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find
Hold on to that
Question.
one.
All right. Question for David.
All right.
The slide box. Dexter's slide box.
Right, they never mentioned it again.
Yeah.
And
He dropped this slide box 3 episodes ago. His whole world went shattered to hell because it's that's his meticulous way, and then never mentioned again. That was very much like last season where, hey, I'm like a religious nanny. Where'd the religious nanny go? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. I was really sad.
Yeah, it's really weird they let go of that.
Yeah, I want to see, because that
and
is
even if
so
it comes
important.
up during this whole Brian thing, which maybe it is, maybe that's him shattering or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe that's a fragment.
There was it just disappeared. There was no mention of it ever. He didn't look longingly in his, I wish I had my slides.
Right.
There was nothing.
You would think that he would.
I'm sorry, but I'm kind of a hoarder, and I would go crazy if something was missing.
I understand. And the whole talk with Harrison about this is Daddy's box, and this is such a prized, special thing. We'll see if that comes back. Maybe that's just him, compensating, but I don't know.
And Dead Pix Alive says, I like how that's the one creepy thing that Cat sees in Travis. Because I think you said the one creepy thing was he has the blood. Otherwise, he's exactly what Cat looks
Here's the
like.
thing. Bless his heart. He is such a sweet pea. He's just following orders. He's trying to make Geller happy. Yeah.
It's okay. He's killing people, but he is following orders.
Oh, Well, why don't we ask Mr. David Sanders some questions about some of the religious happenings? We have a segment that we call Sunday Schooled.
And we're back.
Oh, that's so great.
That's what's good about you having me on mic. I can just say it. We're counting down. We're holding up our fingers. We're screw it. And we're back.
Sunday Schooled is our segment where we speak to David Sanders. He is a religious expert. He is a cantor in the Orthodox Church, and he knows everything about everything religious, especially with this season of Dexter. So, are you there, David?
I am here.
Hey, David, how are you?
Hi, ladies. Good evening.
So, what did you think of this week's episode?
I'm not going to be able to sleep till next week's episode.
Oh, that good. So,
I thought it was really interesting when Brother Sam asks Dexter to forgive Nick, not to go after him.
Really?
And that caused the really great conflict because Dexter sees the justice of going out eye for an eye, Old Testament, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Okay? And Brother Sam plays the Christ-like figure where he says, forgive him. Like when Christ was on the cross and says at the last moment, forgive them for they know not what they do. and then that brought the real struggle. And you see Dexter when he's speaking to Nick at that end part there, where he's really holding back, really trying to figure out if he can forgive Nick for what he did. So I thought that was just an excellent. I mean, and the way that Nick acted after that, I mean, I would have went after him and drowned him.
Well then.
So I thought that was just an excellent part of an excellent showing of the conflict. And remember, Brother Sam said, "I see the light in you." And there's a passage in the Bible,
Right.
And John says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it."
Oh.
So what he's saying to Dexter is that light's in there, and no matter what you do, it's always going to be there, shining somewhere. Because whenever there's just a little bit of light, there's not total darkness.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I noticed something. There was mention, they found evidence that Geller came up with a code of 7 human sacrifices that had to start the apocalypse.
Well,
is there...
And that's what I kept saying.
Right.
I mean, I think we kept trying to get to that, like, since the first one of the season. I'm
Right.
like, is there some kind of pattern that's in the Bible that they're following?
Right.
And I think I've asked that, I think, every single week, and they're finally hitting it. So now that that's happened, do you see anything with 7, or are they just making this all up?
Well, it talks about the 7 bowls, the 7 seals of all the things with the angels open up the 7 seals, and the different things happen to the earth at that point prior to the second advent or the return of Christ. And these are all the horrible things that are supposed to happen. But a 7 sacrifice, I don't see the 7 sacrifices. I just see the number 7 is prevalent in the 7 seals and the 7 bowls, and the things that happen to the earth all have to do with the number 7. Of course, that's a holy number in Judaism and in Christianity.
And in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's true. I may have totally misheard, but I think it was it Batista, Elaine? Yes, it was Batista who mentioned a cult or a sect, the Gennesaret or
Gennesaret, and I tried to look that up, and the only thing I came up with was Gennesaret, which was a place in Judea or Galilee where Jesus had went to visit at that time and did healings there. So what I was thinking is a possibility that it's just something they made up, because there's several cults out there. I mean, I bet you somewhere somebody's got a cult called the name of a group called Gennesaret, and they probably are a cult. But I tried to look up Gennesaret, anything that came up with, and I did not come up with anything except for that place in the Bible. So I'm wondering if it's just something they made up because it adds more to the story, more to the mystery of what's going on with Dr. Geller.
That makes sense, yeah.
Definitely.
Especially the idea that it's part of something bigger and scarier besides just the professor and Travis.
Did you notice, too, that when he's painting, Geller's painting, but his sister, Geller was painting the horror of Babylon, but Travis's sister says to the little kids that Travis is a great artist. And Amanda brought up the point about, did he kill Geller, or is Geller dead, and Travis is really doing all this? And so I was kind of wondering, well, you see Geller painting, but is this Travis, and that brought up some good points when Mandy brought that up, especially when I mentioned Geller bleeding when they was praying and Travis was looking at him at the beginning of the show last week. I said, kind of like Jesus sweating in the Garden of Gethsemane, but it could have been him seeing what he did to Geller.
That's messed up. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, it totally goes along with not only could he have possibly killed Geller, but like the weird absorption of his spirit. Mm-hmm. Ew. I love it. That's so creepy. I just noticed the theme of forgiveness, like you had talked about earlier, David. Everything, forgive, and then the path and the road.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But here's the one thing though, here's the thing too, that what Nick said, that a lot of people have this thought that if they accept Christianity, that their life's going to get better, that everything's going to be great. And that's not true. That's never said anywhere in the Bible. And you do have groups that preach that. But if that was true, then Jesus wouldn't have died at 33 and everything would have been great with him. Then all of the apostles, with the exception of John, would not have been martyred, because they were all martyred. So if they were really good Christians, why did they all get killed? See, you talk to Christians here in America today, you're mainstream, they talk about being blessed. You ask them what's being blessed, they'll say, ooh, a husband, a wife, 2.5 children, a car, 2 cars, a dog, a house, all of these things. That's being blessed. But if you go to early Christianity, the first century or so, you ask them, what does it mean to be blessed? They would say martyrdom.
Really?
They didn't talk about getting new things. So Nick says, none of my life didn't change or nothing. Well, the whole point about Christianity is that now you have God in your life going through everything with you, to give you peace of mind in the struggles, because life is a struggle. We're not in heaven.
Right.
Christianity doesn't teach that heaven's right here. Christianity teaches heaven is afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Wow, that was deep.
Yeah, I know.
We've all just are like,
Wow, yes.
interesting. So the blood jars.
Yeah.
Any significance?
I'm thinking that he's getting ready for this Whore of Babylon, and in Revelation it talks about the Whore of Babylon, and it says, and I saw the woman, of course, remember she had all the markings on her head?
Yeah.
On the picture, saw that? It says that her forehead, on her forehead was written a name of a mystery, Babylon the Great, Mother of Harlots and Earth's Abominations. And I saw the woman drunk with blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. So is he doing that, gathering blood as a part of this, something to do with that passage in the Bible? Because he's working on getting the Whore of Babylon together. And so she's supposed to be having the blood of the saints and blood of the martyrs. Is that all a part of that?
That makes sense, though, especially because the subject was, or the goal of this episode was the Whore of Babylon. It makes perfect sense, but creepy.
So I'm seeing it as something that's going to be involved with whomever they choose as the whore, that those jars of blood are going to have something to do with that. That's what
Wow.
All right. A couple more questions from the chat room. Cass07, does the branding of Travis's latest victim play a role in the end of the world?
Well, I don't know, did he brand her? Because it looked like he was getting ready to.
He was getting ready to.
He was about to.
That's the question. I think we'll find that out next week. Obviously, she's going to be discovered. She'll go to the cops, and they're going to... My guess is he hopefully branded her, because then that gives them something to do script-wise with her. Like, this is another clue, and why did he let her go? And now, my guess is they'll probably think that, and maybe we don't know. Maybe he let her go for a reason. Maybe he was supposed to let her go as a warning to the world. Is that a possibility?
Could have been, but remember, once again, that brand was what? The Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah.
That's their trademark.
Right.
That's their trademark, to let you know this is coming from us. Remember, and Geller said, we're the 2 witnesses, and I talked about that last week.
I remember that.
The 2 witnesses are supposed to come for 1260, 1,260 days.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Geller told Travis, we're the 2 witnesses.
Dead Pixel Live has a very interesting question.
Ooh.
Do churches still adhere to the idea of original sin, and that the son takes on the sin of the fathers? If so, does that mean Dexter's kid is now doomed since he's taken on his sins? And Trinity's kid.
That is a completely Western Christian point of view.
Oh.
They didn't get it from Judaism, but Judaism doesn't believe it. It's really something that came up with St. Augustine in was the 4th, 5th century. And he believed that you inherit the guilt of Adam, and so therefore that's why everybody's born a sinner. Okay, but in the Eastern Church, they don't teach that. They teach the only thing you inherit from Adam is death, mortality. Okay, so what you're trying to do is in the West, you're trying to wash away this stain of sin, and Dexter's son would be a sinner. All children would be born a sinner. And the dilemma Augustine had was, if babies aren't baptized, do they go to hell? Because sinners can't go into heaven. So Augustine developed a place called limbo. So if a baby wasn't baptized and it died, it would go to this place called limbo. Now, John Calvin was a little more faithful to Augustine's teaching and said, no, he says, the stairway to hell is lined with the skulls of unbaptized babies. Okay? And in the Eastern Church, you don't have that. In the Eastern Church, it is a sickness. Mortality, death is a sickness from the fall. And the word salvation in Greek actually means healing. And so you go to Christ for healing of the sickness that you have. And that's why he's called the great physician. So there's two different views on original sin. One calls it guilt, inherited guilt. In the Western Church and in the Eastern Church, it's not you inherit mortality. You become a sinner when you sin. The West says sin is a nature. You have a sinful nature. The East says sin has no nature. It's just the aberration of good.
What about the Stairway to Heaven?
I can't play it.
Wow, we got more questions. I think we just need a live chat with just you one week as a separate little thing.
They want to chat with you.
Quickly, does it matter? This is a Ustreamer. Oh, it doesn't have a name. So there are people who don't log in, but here you go. Don't have their name. But somebody in the Ustream chat room asked, does it matter if brothers Sam or Dexter forgives Nick? Isn't that up to God or for Nick to ask for forgiveness?
As an outcome from what? I think the only reason Brother Sam did it because we're all supposed to forgive our enemies. In Christianity, you're supposed to forgive those who sin against you, even somebody like Nick who would kill him, right? I don't know his purpose for doing it for Dexter. I guess is he's trying to get Dexter to fight that darkness within him. And is it important for Nick? Well, obviously Nick didn't think so. At first, I thought Nick thought it was important, and then all of a sudden it was ha ha ha. Hey, I'm free. It's like, what? So I don't know what it did for Nick.
Got him drowned?
Yeah.
I don't know what it did for Nick. It sounded like it just got him off the hook,
I don't believe in forgiveness. I'll say it. I don't believe in forgiveness. I get even. I don't get mad. I get even. Is that just? Is that now? I guess I'm not a very good.
Are you of the Church
Western,
of Satan? That's
I guess I'm not a very good. Yeah, I guess I'm not a very good Judeo-Christian. I guess if that's the case. So I'll take it. I don't care.
No Stairway to Heaven for you.
All right.
At least you're to your own self. You're true, so that's great.
Any other questions? You got anything else to say there? I guess. Anything to ask?
No, David.
Yeah, I mean,
David has enlightened us. Our Dexpert has enlightened us.
People are very impressed in the chat room with our choice of religious Dexpert, by the way.
I'm so glad because we love David, and he always enlightens us. It's not just this week; it's every week. Well, thank you so much, David.
Thank you, David.
I look forward to talking with you next week, especially with all of these big developments in the Dexterverse.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Just when we were giving up. Boom. All this happened.
Exactly.
And we're back. Oh, thank you so much, David.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh, yeah.
Was Dexter's brother, what color was he wearing?
He was
black.
Wearing black.
Thank you. That's all.
Wow.
What? No.
He's going to leave us with that. Wait, is there some biblical? Is there a biblical reason, or is it just like bad movies where the bad guy wears black?
Bad movies where the bad guy wears black.
I thought it was going to be in light.
Really quick, the worst movie that ever occurred in was Twister, where the good guys who were chasing the tornado drove white vans and the bad guys drove black vans. I'm not kidding.
The white vans are the right vans. You don't want to be driving those. What's that?
And then you have to ask this, why do priests wear black cassocks?
Because they want to look like Darth Vader. I don't know. Good question.
This is homework for everybody. Homework, and we'll talk about this next week.
I love it.
Thank you, David.
Oh, thank you so much,
David.
Good night.
Well, now that we've been in
Johnny Acid said they're easier to keep clean. The winner! That's why they were black.
There you go. It's always the practical reason. It makes sense. Well, shall we go on to our next segment? It's called The Wide World of Dexter.
I'm very excited about this.
We talk about all things going on in the Dexterverse, all sorts of fun things that we have found in the interwebs. So,
Yes.
ready? Here we go. Wide World of Dexter.
Let's see if this is the right one. 'Cause you can... Well, it's actually the Worldwide Dexter, not Wide World. Didn't you say Wide World of Dexter? It's
Worldwide Dexter. Like
Worldwide Dexter. Excuse me.
We did a Wide World of Warcraft show.
That's
so
right,
maybe
we
that's where you're
did.
getting confused.
So
these are like all new segments for me. I haven't like been here.
Are you saying you haven't been watching our show?
I mean, I haven't, but I haven't been living it like this.
well, now you're living
They're
the
very
dream.
awesome.
Well, thank you. The segments Jim made all of our
Jim, and did you see that
segments.
cool new Skype thing that Jim made?
Yeah, that's
Right?
so cool.
Little blood stains on it. Very nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was
It's
awesome.
beautiful.
Good job.
So, the Worldwide Dexter is a segment where we talk about things that related to the Dexterverse that we have found online, fun things, interesting things, things that are interactive. So the first item that we found a meme generator. So it's a lot of fun. It's a Dexter meme generator. You can find it on our streaming garage /
StupidForDexter.com.
StupidForDexter.com.
StupidForDexter.com will take you to our new streaming garage Dexter page. Otherwise, it's streaminggarage.com/stupid #Dexter StupidForDexter.com will forward you.
Oh,
Just much easier.
Alrighty. Oh, anywho, we've made a graphic, and you can play with it, manipulate it, and you can upload it to Twitter, Facebook. We want you to go make your own Dexter meme and then post it on our Facebook, put it on Twitter, and at Stupid for Dexter. We want to see your beautiful handiwork.
And then, do you guys like pick winners each week, or how do you do that?
We do actually. We will sort through them. We'll find a bunch that were fun and crazy, and we'll bring some up next week that we really enjoyed. So.
We have an example.
Oh, and we have an example, actually. If we could just provide that right now. Ooh.
Oh, that's what's up on our website.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Is that right? So
I
you
was like,
make
what's that thing?
Right, so you make a caption, and you save the picture,
Tread
and then you can
lightly,
upload
Rotman, it says.
Underneath.
I have my eye on you.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. So you make a caption. It has to be memey, so it has to be...
What the?
Keep it fun. Oh, that's so cute.
That is Travis, our sound guy,
And
coming.
that's
What
Travis.
Oh, because this is the app.
That's not.
Yeah,
of course,
this
that's
is-
the next. That's the next
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
But he's
That gives
jumping
us a
ahead. Our guy's
preview.
jumping ahead of what this is.
That
Go
was
ahead,
the
explain what that is.
preview.
Our second item on Worldwide Dexter is that there is a Dexter app on the Android phone, and it's like a photo booth feature. So there's a bunch of different graphics, and you can take a picture of yourself.
Go ahead, now show it.
Yeah, now show it. See?
That's
so,
Travis,
gosh,
who's
that's
got our
great.
sound.
You can add all sorts of cool things. It's like Photoshop. You can add saws and knives and all sorts of crazy stuff.
That is amazing.
So if you upload that,
And what's
we
that? Was
want
that
to
a
share
cat?
it. Wait, was that a cat?
Hold on.
What?
That is
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, it's Alvin.
Miami.
That's adorable.
All right.
That's so great. I thought Alvin looked just majestic on his little Miami Metro license. But they're really fun. We want to show those off too. So send those us. Yeah, our Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook.com/StupidForDexter.
That's right.
526 likes.
Yes.
Yeah, we need 1,000 or we're going to cancel the show. I said that, and all these people on YouTube got really pissed.
Uh-oh.
And then I went, maybe we need a Stupid for Comedy show because you people aren't getting it. It's just jokes. And they're like, you're an asshole. And, I hate your show. And it's really rude to tell us how. I'm like, it's just jokes. They're just jokes. But now, if we don't get 1,000, we're canceling the show.
Unbelievable. I don't know.
YouTube, man, they get pissed.
YouTube doesn't like
They're
threats.
so mad. They're so bad.
They're so mad. They're so mad. Well,
They're like your mad cat.
oh, my baby, we should upload for
Oh,
both
God.
of these
Oh,
a
God.
picture of my new kitty
Look what
cat.
you did.
Oh,
Look
God.
what you did, Mike.
Let me
geez.
tell you
Oh, boy.
about my 5 seconds.
Yeah, go into the
Okay,
camera. There you go.
Dana,
Yes.
let me tell you about my new cat. I rescued a kitty cat recently. She is the most amazing thing in the whole world. She is a purebred Persian super smushy face cat. She looks like the Fancy Feast cat with a super smush face.
Look into Dana's camera and what does she look like? Switch to Dana's camera. Go ahead. Now
She's
turn
amazing.
to Dana's camera. Behind you.
She looks like all the time because she's
Okay.
just mad about everything. And I love her, and so I think she'd be beautiful in some of these because she looks mad, and we'll put some knives over her. Just,
That's like this. I mean, honestly, that's more scary than like the last scene of Dexter. I mean, I just when people, but I respect it.
Oh,
I
you
respect
saw
it.
the
As long
cat.
as you respect.
I did. I love the cat. The cat is beautiful, but you know,
Thank
you're
you.
turning into a crazy cat lady. With, like,
I know, I kind of am. I have costumes for her from Halloween.
All right, let's move on.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about the guest. Is that next?
yeah, can we bring out our guest?
Jeez, that's what people are staying up late to wait for.
No.
They don't want to
We
hear
are so
you. They
ready.
don't want to hear me. They want to hear Nick.
Nobody wants to hear
Yeah.
about Pixie
Nick.
Belle Brimley. Let's talk about our very, very special guest. His name is Germaine De Leon, and we have some stills from the episode last week.
Well, let's look at the stills,
Yeah,
and then when the
let's show
stills
some
are done,
stills.
we'll bring them in. Here's the stills.
Welcome! Thank you so much, Germaine, for coming on Stupid for Dexter.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you. We have a lot of questions to ask you.
Uh-oh.
So you played the character Nick.
Yes.
We got to know, did you know that Nick was going to end up being villainous?
A side of me suspected that, yeah. But no, we don't really know what's going to happen until the next episode, until they give us a script. A lot of times they cut parts out so that nothing leaks out. So it was kind of a
Really?
surprise to me, for me too. Yeah.
So much fun. So did you only know for that scene on the beach? Or
Well-
did you know beforehand?
Well, I mean, the backstory was that he did have a very dark past, he had a very murderous past, which is why he clicked so well with Brother Sam and with Dexter, because they all shared that kind of kindred spirit
Right.
thing going on. So I knew something like that was going to happen. I just didn't know when and how. But
Well, it certainly happened.
yes, it did.
Oh my gosh. What was it like to work with Michael C. Hall and Mos Def?
Very humbling experience. Those guys are very good actors. Amazingly good actors.
And you had some like amazing scenes with both of them, obviously.
Yeah.
Turning point
it
scenes.
was a lot of fun. Working with them actually made my job very easy. All I had to do was really just listen to them, and they just gave me so much. It was really joy, actually. Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, certainly it wasn't just their talent that made those moments so palpable. It was you, and especially the turn.
It was incredible.
Started snickering on the beach.
I know. I really like when I first heard that I was guest hosting, and then that you were going to be the guest, the like permanent guest here, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is like the perfect day to be a part of the show, because when you snickered, I wanted to kill you. I really did. And then you came into the room and you're so nice, and it just shows what an amazing, you're so nice and you look so nice. You don't have your hair all crazy back. Right? Am I right though? I'm right.
Ladies.
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm right. And
I keep my dark side hidden away.
Oh, that's
you're more light. You're towards the light though.
Yeah.
You have a dark passenger, but you're towards the light.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I
Absolutely.
mean, it just shows. My whole point is that it just shows what an amazing actor you are. Because when you
thank you.
snickered, it was just like
darkness.
Oh.
Just
Zero to dark.
you went from being this sweet, kind of newly baptized little lamb to
yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing how they built him up. I actually thought maybe he was just going to go forward with the light.
Right.
It seemed that way for the last 5 episodes.
Right.
But yeah, I guess the dark side can't be hidden.
no. You helped to bring it out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Was it fun though? I mean, have you played villains before? So
Well, no, actually, that was the first time I played a villain.
cause I gotta say, you have such boyish good looks.
Oh, thank you.
Come on.
This is getting a little sick.
We're like so
A
excited.
lot of female gushing here. That's what's going on here.
You guys are making me blush. Usually I play characters with hearts of gold. And actually, Nick in a way does. He's not all bad.
Right.
He really wasn't. But in the last episode,
But he
yeah.
hung out with a bad crowd, though. It's not like he was like,
Yeah.
a prep
Had to do what he had to
school
do to
kid.
survive.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean, I guess it was more of a practical thing, really. Because what was the minister's name?
David.
Yeah, like he said, never mind. I don't want to go into that. Actually,
What?
I don't want to go into that.
What?
Are you gonna enlighten us
quick
again?
questions from the chat room. Dexter Corner Michael, who I believe has his own podcast, right? Is Dexter's Corner, isn't that like a podcast he has?
Yeah, Dexter's
I think he does.
Corner.
How did they find you for the role? What was the audition like? Just the basic stuff.
The audition, I think they
It's a
auditioned
website, by the
me
way.
with
Dexter
the.
Corner. Sorry, it's a website. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, I think they auditioned me with the first scene, the scene where Dexter approaches Nick right after he'd found out that during the candlelight vigil,
Right.
Yeah.
and I think that's I guess
Okay.
where I kind of won him over, I guess. Because I guess what they really wanted was the sweetness in this kid, in the kid.
Right.
That was the most important thing. That's why, if you noticed, out of all the gang members, he was the only one that didn't have any tattoos. He looked a little bit different, a little bit more like the kind of boy you could take into your house and not worry about a whole lot.
Right.
I guess because they wanted that big twist in the end.
Right.
Wolf
they
in
were-
sheep's clothing kind of twist. So.
Right, definitely. And to make it so that both Brother Sam and Dexter would have, I mean, it would be easier for them to look at you and forgive you,
Yeah.
too, or see that goodness and hope for that goodness
Yeah.
until you snicker.
And it was all downhill from there.
was
Johnny
all downhill.
Acid in the Ustream chat room. Please join us live if you'd like at some point, if you're listening to us on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you're watching. And if you're YouTube, don't be mean. Johnny Acid wants to know, was there a dog trainer out of the shot giving commands?
Absolutely, there was. That was, he was very good, but the dog was so easily distracted from time to time. I mean, if he saw garbage on the floor, he would run, and I was like, oh, that was my best day. And, that happened quite a few times. But no, he was a great dog. He really was.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Dark Passenger 1979. Were you a fan of Dexter before you got the part?
Yeah. I mean, I had watched a few episodes, but in preparation, I started watching a lot,
Right.
which was a good thing, and also a bad thing in a way.
Oh.
Because I realized just how good of actors these guys are, and I was like, oh my god, I should have went to acting class.
What is do you have a big background in acting? And I know you're doing, we'll talk about it a little bit, you're doing a theater thing, we'll get to that in a little bit, but what is your background before coming into Dexter in terms of acting?
Well, I had done quite a few guest star spots and in movies and TV. I'd done horror movies and things like that. But no, I didn't have the traditional background where you start in theater and move to film and TV. I went directly to it. But now I'm doing quite a bit of theater, and I feel like still learning, still growing.
Right.
Yeah.
So related to that, Keyed Your Car, that's a great name. Keyed Your Car is the name of the person in Ustream. Some guests on Dexter have said that Michael C. Hall can be friendly, normal self 1 minute and become creepy Dexter the next. Did that unnerve you? Did you see that?
Yes.
Obviously you saw it in your scene, I'm guessing.
Ooh.
I did. Actually, he's a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He taught me a lot about the business. He's been in the business a long time.
Right.
And but yes, he does get creepy. He does.
So,
In a good way. In a good way. No, he's got a good sense of humor too. Actually, a lot of people don't know that after watching the show. But yeah.
I would probably be disappointed if I knew I was, if I finally figured out or was told I was going to be one of Dexter's killed, but not in the kill room.
Yeah.
I know.
Was it exciting to have a unique Dexter death, or did
Was
you
that
want
the
the
first?
table?
Was that the?
No,
That wasn't the first.
wasn't-
It wasn't the first, but it's definitely not the usual.
Right.
Yeah. That was. I kind of like that actually.
I think a lot of Dexter fans are very much going to remember the character Nick. So, I mean, it's not like your character not being on the table doesn't make it iconic. It's still
Right.
that guy, you. So, definitely made an impression. I cannot doubt that.
Zonkos wants to know, give away some TV secrets if you can. Was that actually you getting drowned, or was it a stunt man?
Oh. Well, I was up for it. I was up for it. That's the truth. I was ready. I had my skin-colored wetsuit. They had a wetsuit that was designed just like my
What?
skin color.
Oh my God.
You couldn't even tell. You couldn't even
Wow.
tell. And but no, ultimately the guy that they got looked just like me. It was amazing. We could have been brothers. It was really amazing.
Did that creep you out?
A little bit, yeah. I was actually wondering if maybe he could just do the scene for me, and save me the panic attack. But no.
All right.
So, but you were willing to, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The hardcore actor in me was willing to do that.
And then Cass07-1. I think we have Skype coming in after this. No, maybe.
After Germaine.
Well, Germaine's ending the show, so he can talk during Germaine. So if he wants to call in, have him call in. If you were Dexter, would you have forgiven Nick? That's a good question for everybody.
Ooh.
Well, after the whole laughing and you know, just enjoying the, you know, the fact that he had gotten away with the whole thing, I think that would kind of piss me off. You know, but if he was really repentant, then I think I would have. I think I would have, and I think that was Dexter's inclination too.
Right.
Was to forgive him.
No,
if it wasn't for that insult at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it would have just changed the whole thing. You know?
Right.
Even the snickering and the and
he was so close to finding the light.
Well,
was so close.
That was the amazing part, which to your acting was amazing because you're like, don't kill him, and of course, Kat's like, kill him the whole time. But then when the laughing started,
oh my god,
you had every single person watching that show was like, kill him.
Do you want hear my notes? Hold on, I'm going to show.
Wait, Elaine says she still didn't want to kill you.
I'm going to show Germaine my notes really quickly. I write notes when I watch the show, and this is just stream of consciousness. Dex tells Nick to turn himself into police, but Nick starts laughing. Kill him, Dexter! In caps. I'm so sorry. You were you were very villainous. So, I had a few more questions if I could just butt in, if that's okay. You guys shot on the beach, obviously.
Yes.
Did you get to see any of the brother Brian returning? Were you around for that?
Yes. Yeah, he was there. We actually, our trailers were right next to each other, so I got to talk to him live.
How cool.
Yeah, I think he was my favorite of all the major killers in the Ice Truck Killer.
Was that something you had a sign saying you would not reveal that he was back on the show until your episode aired?
Well, I signed that I would not reveal anything about that.
Right. Oh God, you're so in trouble.
But yeah.
See, no, Jamie, I don't think had to sign anything. Jamie, we had on last week, who was the Angel of Death girl who got killed, and she said, "No, I could talk about anything."
She didn't seem to have as much exposure though to the other cast and the other storylines.
That's true. She was just kind of hanging in a greenhouse.
Right. It sounds like you were much more interwoven and more drama and plot lines going on. So you were exposed to a lot more than. That's why you need to sign your life away. I was also wondering, where did they film your death scene? Because we've heard rumor that it was like they filmed sometimes in Long Beach, but
yeah, it was in Long Beach.
Was it Long Beach?
It was in Long Beach.
It used to be Marina Del Rey, right? And then I guess they moved to Long Beach this season, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing. This show has such hardcore fans. I have no idea where they find out about these locations, but every time we're on location, there's literally hundreds of fans.
Because Kat's tweeting
Hundreds of fans, and every time we would cut, they would clap. It was like doing a stage play.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
So
they stayed the whole night. We shot from like 7 o'clock at night all the way until 7 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
And they stayed the whole night.
But what about the scene where you're drowned and the scene where Brian shows up? Were their fans watching that?
Yeah.
Do they
absolutely.
have to?
So they're not trying to be too incredibly spoiler. You know, I'm surprised they didn't like close off, get everybody out of here.
Yeah.
I just don't think they could.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of where we were shooting.
Right.
I just don't think they could.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. I mean, it makes sense. Dexter does have this incredible hardcore fan base, but I'm glad that nobody's leaking that info, and instead they're appreciating watching you guys work and create their.
I was wondering that myself. Why no one was going to leak anything, but.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, there probably was. We honestly, so everybody knows who's new to our show. I hate saying podcast. It's a podcast too, but show. We don't look for leaks. We actually like to enjoy it with the fans. That's why we don't leak anything. That's why we make sure we don't look at IMDb even. We like to watch the show as the fans watch the show. That's why we are a fan show. So maybe there are leaks we just didn't investigate. There quite possibly could have been, but
right.
we don't do that on this show.
I don't want to know. It's much more fun. Like, I don't think I would have enjoyed, your storyline with Dexter nearly as much had I known especially how dramatic it was going to be in the end. It's just it loses the fun of it. I mean, that's, I think, why people enjoy it so much, is those little twists, those little turns, and then just the characters are so rich.
And I think we have a Skype call coming
Oh!
in. This is audio-only Skype call. Who do we have on audio Skype?
Who's that?
Nobody. Jack, maybe you can hear you.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Oh, he can't hear us. All right, we'll come back to him.
Oh, all right.
Elaine will
Well,
take care
that's
of the
fine.
Skype caller who can't hear us.
All right, well, there you go.
Making sure the mic's on. The microphone is on. He should be able to hear us. Okay. Never mind to him. Any more questions?
Any possibility that Nick might come back to be a shoulder angel for Dexter?
Shoulder-
You know, you got to talk to the producers about
All right,
that.
we'll call
Okay.
Scott Buck. I'll Facebook Scott Buck tomorrow.
Excellent, excellent. I'm just saying.
Who's
never
still
mind.
supposed to come on the show? Scott.
He's busy. He's a little busy
Scott.
making Dexter. He's
Well-
a little, to be fair.
Well,
All right.
speaking about coming back, what are you doing now? So if, since you've been kind of kaput on Dexter, put the kibosh on you, where, you're doing this play, Four Murders, which I think is
Yes.
super appropriate for, coming from Dexter.
Very similar. It's very
Really?
similar, yeah.
Oh.
It's about a serial killer, a very unusual serial killer, who chooses his victims. He chooses victims that all, on some level, already want to die, whether they know it or not. He actually, in a very conceptual way, gives them the opportunity to make that decision before he goes in for the kill. It's very weird. He's got it's very interesting. It's horror, it's thriller, it's theater of the absurd. It's really nice. It's very
Wow.
exciting, especially for me. I haven't really done a lot of theater.
I know. You're,
So-
very rare in the fact that we're lucky enough, I'm sure, for, an actor's dream, all of a sudden you're just, in these amazing, doing all these television products, film projects, and, now you're kind of going to the theaters in North Hollywood?
Yes, North Hollywood TU Studios. It's
Okay.
Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays at 8, Sundays at 7. We've got 2 more weekends left, so
And there's some, there's a
Kinda hurry
special
up.
thing, right?
Yes.
If
There
you-
is,
Yeah.
yes.
What's the special?
There is a discount if you type in the word murder. You get half off. So instead of being $20 at the door, it's $10 at the door,
Right.
which is awesome.
And it's at Sky. You can find all the information at skypilottheater.com.
And we'll also put it up on our Facebook page.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
and if you
Yes.
come up to me asking for my autograph, I'll give it. You're in free. I'll pay your
Ah,
ticket.
whoa.
I'm just joking. That was a joke.
You're supposed to
It's a joke.
charge for your autograph, not pay. Let me ask you real quick. I just want to go back to you said Michael C.L. gave you some great lessons.
Yeah.
Were acting lessons, or did he? You know.
No, well, yeah, that acting. Well, not necessarily acting lessons per se, but he studied quite a bit. He studied in college, is what he told me, and he even got his master's degree in acting. And I asked him if he used a lot of it, and he said no. I mean, well, he said it gave him tools in his toolbox, but most of the learning was on the job. I feel the same way. I mean, I studied acting a little bit, and but I feel like on the job training was where I really learned how to do it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It is
Completely
priceless.
different. It really is. And also, but more than that, he actually told me quite a bit about being grounded. It was during that scene. It was during the Long Beach scene, during the kill scene,
Right.
when I noticed there was just hundreds of people there. I mean, they were just diehard Michael Hall fans taking
Right.
pictures. I mean, they just couldn't even believe that they're seeing him. I was
Right.
like, man, how do you deal with that kind of stuff? How do you go to the grocery store? How do you maintain your art? And I think he told me that I guess in every artist, no matter what stage of the game you are, no matter what's going on, the directors, the fans, the producers, every artist has to maintain within themselves some box of almost pure wilderness, of something that only the artist can have, that only the artist can control, and it's not affected by anybody else. And he said you have to maintain that throughout your whole career, and you lose that, you lose everything.
Wow.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty profound.
That's amazing
It's
advice.
easy to have that when you don't have all the distractions. When you're doing doing student film. Like when I started,
Right.
I started doing student films and art house films.
Okay.
And concentrating under those situations was very easy. I can imagine, being a superstar like Michael Hall, it gets more challenging.
Hundreds of people watching.
Yeah.
If they have
You got
opportunity.
to please.
yeah.
It's,
Right.
on some level, you want to please everybody.
Right.
You always
Of
want to.
course.
But the more you can maintain that artistic integrity, the longer you're going to be around. This,
And we have got now we have a Skype call.
Oh, Skype call.
Hello?
Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, Germaine. Hello, Kat. Hello, Dana.
Hi.
Hello, legitimate son of Captain Lou Albano.
The curly hair, I guess.
the wrestler.
All right, I feel like I need rubber bands in my beard then.
Something to work
I'd
on.
like to thank Germaine for being the catalyst for actually bringing back the real Dexter, because for the past few episodes, I don't know what show this was, but it wasn't Dexter, and finally in the last couple of seconds, it became Dexter again. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but Dexter's a sociopath. He doesn't have feelings. He would, hey, your best friend just got shot. He should be like, what's a friend? I don't know what a friend. What's going on? He's getting mad. He's like, oh, my friend is shot. I'm gonna throw all this stuff on the ground. Like, who are you? I don't know what you are right now, Dexter. But you're not the one that was going around killing people in the first at least 3 seasons. Then he got kind of goofy in 4 or 5.
Well,
So I would like to thank you, Germaine, for doing that. Hopefully it will stay Dexter now and not go to some crazy CSI thing where he's matching the striations on bullets. What the? Somebody explain that to me.
I think that was his conclusion after
And
that last line.
also, Quinn would have been. He should not have a job. Like at this point, he shouldn't have a job, right? He should have been fired.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's been acting up pretty badly.
And then especially when he comes to Deb's house and hits on, like, I'm guessing a 14-year-old girl.
Jamie,
He should,
Batista's sister. I mean, I don't think she's 14, but I mean,
14.
She's
I hope
younger.
she's not
She's like
14.
24.
I'm going to tell Amy Garcia that he said that. She's going to be so flattered.
24, then Dexter's going to hit that by the end of the season.
What? Wait, what was that, Pixel?
Look, if she's 24, then Dexter's going to hit that by the end of the season.
Yeah, well, I would. I mean, you can't blame him.
But I agree, though. I think the last 5 minutes of Dexter is really what brought me back, too, because I was getting a little bored with the season. And then with, like, the last scene, I really just fell in love with it again, because I think it was, like, the first episode, that, like, first scene in that first episode, and then this last scene is what like made me love Dexter so much.
Well, we'll be honest. We had a whole conversation of, do we keep doing the show? What do we do? It wasn't that we were bored. It was like, I don't know. And then we got so much other stuff going on, and there was a whole conversation between email and then Elaine just like, just watch the episode. So we watched. We're like, okay, let's do more shows.
Yeah.
So it brought everybody back in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was very, very, very necessary. So yes, thank you. Old Dexter is back. Thanks to Mr. Nick here. It started with a snicker. We can say it started with a snicker.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh my God.
I'm going to go ahead and go, but I would like to lodge a formal complaint for Stupid for Dexter, I guess.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Put it in the complaint
I would
jar
like
and we'll look at it later.
complain to Mike Rotman for keeping the studio so cold and forcing Kat to wear that evil sweater.
Well,
Kat is, if it's 85 degrees out, Kat is cold and wearing a sweater. I gotta be honest.
it was cold, and genuinely it was cold in here today. It did warrant a sweater. I'll just go with that.
He's going to think.
All right.
Yeah. All right, that's it.
All right. Well, Germaine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Folks at home, Germaine, you can find him on Twitter, Germaine_De Leon. You should follow him.
You should go and see 4 Murders.
You should go and see 4 Murders in North Hollywood this week if you're in the LA area, absolutely. And you can check out Stupid For Dexter, stupidfordexter.com. We're on YouTube, Blip, Roku, iTunes, you name it.
And as always, we need your help. Please share with friends. Put it up on your Facebook page. Click that little share button on, if you're watching YouTube or iTunes, let people know. Or on iTunes, they can listen to it in their car. Things like that. So that is what helps us. Obviously, as we always say, we don't do this for money. We do have a little fun thing on our Streaming Garage. You can be a patron of Streaming Garage, so feel free to check that out under patrons, streaminggarage.com. And there you go. Well, this is very exciting. I can't wait till Sunday. So
Oh, me either.
Here we go. And Facebook, of course, facebook.com/stupidfordexter. Please like us.
That's right. Thank you so much, Germaine. And thank you
Thank you.
so much, Dana.
Oh my gosh, of course.
that's another episode wrapped up for Stupid for Dexter. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Woo!